Well, I want to speak this morning about the naming of a child. I know that for some families, the matter of the naming of a child is of not much significance. Maybe just the flip of a coin. The husband says to the wife, if it's heads, it's Prudence. If it's tails, it's Hortense. How's that? For others, it's the matter of a joke, like that song I Grew Up by Johnny Cash, a boy named Sue. Yes. There are arguments over the naming of a child. She goes to church. He doesn't. She says, I want to give our child a Bible name. He says, I don't know any Bible names. She says, I'd really like to give our child a Bible name. And so he starts flipping through the Bible. Okay, Melchizedek. She says, but it's a girl. No matter. It's Bible, Melchizedek. You know, there are some cases for the naming of a child in which symbolism is important. When John and Janetta Graves were getting ready to have their first child, they were concerned that there were so many people still fighting the Civil War. Prejudice against African Americans was intense. And being African American, they wanted to some way symbolize the reconciliation between the North and the South. And so they chose a name of a Southern leader and a Northern leader. And so when their boy was born, they named him Lee Grant Graves. There are cases of real sadness in reference to the naming of a child. The serial killer, Charles Manson, now 80, entered the California prison system when he was 35 years old. But if you go to Cincinnati, Ohio, and look up his birth certificate, it says, no name, Maddox. His mother, Kathleen Maddox, 16 years old, had the baby, didn't want the baby, tried to give the baby away to whomever. No name, Maddox. Horrible things he did. I'd like to talk with you about the naming of a child. Joseph is engaged, betrothed to a woman named Mary. Engagement is a legal matter. It can only be broken by divorce, not by some spat on a Saturday night. Anything that he does, anything that she does, is governed under the laws of marriage in a time of engagement. And so Joseph discovers that the woman to whom he is betrothed is pregnant. So what is he going to do? If he pays attention to the law, if he pays attention to his Bible, if he pays attention to what he learned in synagogue school, he will report her to the authorities. She will be taken before the synagogue, whipped 39 stripes, and expelled completely from the community. He should keep the scripture, don't you think? I mean, he's a good man, righteous man. But because he is a good man, he cannot do it. May I pause to remind you that sometimes doing exactly what a Bible verse says to do is not appropriate. He is a good man, and so he has to rise above the letter of the law so that he will not abuse or make ashamed the woman he loves. And it's important to remember that when Jesus grows up, he says, you have heard it said in the law, but I say to you, your goodness must rise above the letter of the law. I wonder where he learned that. And so it is with Joseph. He is a just man, and if he is to follow his heart, he will put her away quietly without any shame or disgrace. But then he has a dream. And in the dream, God says, Joseph, you marry her. And Joseph son of David, name the child. But he isn't mine. Joseph, son of David, name the child. And with fear and trembling, he does. And Jesus becomes Jesus, the son of Joseph, the son of David. And that's an important thing to remember, because Joseph is of the line of David. Therefore, Jesus, by this naming, becomes one of the line of David. For you see, it is from the line of David that the Messiah will come. Now, how can Jesus be the son of David if he's not Joseph's son? Well, he is Joseph's son. Look it up in the courthouse. He is. He is Joseph's son because Joseph names him. And by all the laws of the land, Jesus is the son of Joseph, the carpenter of Nazareth, and thereby he becomes the son of David. When the Messiah comes, whose son will he be? He will be the son of David. Oh, that's Jesus. Out of Bethlehem, the city of David, will come the Messiah. Oh, that's Jesus. Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. Ah, that's Jesus. Jesus is the son of David because Joseph says, his name is Jesus. He will not go home from the hospital, no name. And so the message of God through a dream makes Jesus the son of David. And by being the son of David is the son of Joseph. Now I want you to believe that. Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. But he is the son of Joseph. I mean, when Mary and Joseph take the 12-year-old boy to the temple and he stays there 3 days, they are worried sick. And when they finally find him, Mary says, "Your father and I were worried." And then it says that Jesus went home with them, and Luke says he was obedient to his parents. There was a disciple of John the Baptist who says to a friend, "Come, we have found the Messiah." Well, who is it? It is Jesus, son of Joseph of Nazareth. Well, he's part of a family. Mary and Joseph get married, and we know that they have lots of kids. They have at least 4 more sons, James, Jude, Joseph, and Simon. There are daughters as well. There are lots of kids. Jesus is the oldest. How many times, I wonder, when Mary and Joseph go to the market, they say, "Now, Jesus, it's your turn to take care of the young ones while we're away." You know, taking turns at chores, learning a trade, going to school. Aren't you glad that's true? I mean, some people are so anxious to preserve the fact that Jesus is different from us that they miss the beauty of Christmas and the meaning of Jesus, that he is like us. He grows up in a family. When he goes to school, his teacher says, "What does your dad do?" "Oh, he's a carpenter." "Do you have brothers and sisters?" "Oh, yes, lots of them. There are so many we have hardly any place to sleep." That's Jesus. All of his life, he grows up knowing what you and I know, what it is to be a part of a family, what it is to laugh and cry, what it is to keep a holiday, what it is to sing "Happy Birthday." Oh, that just tickles me pink. I know some people give me the impression that they want to keep talking about how Jesus is so different. Please, how many of us, everyone in this room, has had to deal with meaningless suffering? Why, God, why? And then Jesus from the cross says, my God, why have you forsaken me?" He was tempted in every way that we are. What do you believe, really? Now, I'm serious here. What do you believe about Jesus? Over the years of my ministry, there are people who want to get acquainted with me well enough so that they feel free enough to tell me what they don't believe. You know, get around Janet for a while and find out she's, a nice gal, and then I think I'll tell her what I don't believe. That feeding of the 5,000 stuff, well, here's what I think. And that part about the parting of the sea and the walking of the water, and they just recite to me what they don't believe. I've never had anyone come up to me and say, we've now gotten to know you well enough that I feel comfortable telling you what I do believe. What do you believe about Jesus? I'll tell you what I believe. Come. We have found the Christ, who is Jesus, the son of Joseph, the son of David, of Nazareth. Come. Come and see.